All right, so obviously it's raining, which I think is kind of symbolic. You might be able to hear it in the background, which I think is freaking cool. But I have taken upon myself, almost made it a duty to be happy or figure out what happiness looks like for me, basic for the past 6 months or so. And so I feel like I want to teach people how to do this because I wasn't an inherently happy person. And I think in today's world, people by default are unhappy. And we're born to reward pessimism or negativity. If you think about if two people way back when were walking through the woods together, one's an optimist, one's a pessimist. Let's say they hear a tiger in the distance. Guy number one says, "Oh, I'm an optimist. It's way too far away. We're good." Guy number two, he goes, "No, I'm a pessimist. That thing's close. I'm going to get the hell out of here." Well, even if the optimist is right 9 times out of 10, that one time he's going to get eaten alive. So it's bred in us to just be negative. However, in today's society, it's 100 times more safe. You live in a house, it's locked. Yes, things happen. However, you don't have to go day to day worrying about safety. And so it's almost, we've got to rewire our brain, and that's why it's a skill. So the first step is understanding happiness is a skill. You got to accept that. It's like anything else. If you don't want to learn about it and practice it, you're not going to gain the skill. It's just like work. It's just like the gym. It's just like your job. What you put in is what you're going to get out. Now, the thing is, happiness is all up here. The second thing you need to realize is that nothing that you get externally is going to provide happiness for very long. If you notice, when you go and eat donuts, the buildup is great. When you're driving to get those donuts, you're probably starving. But then as soon as you eat them, they're fun for a few minutes, and then what? Oh, I feel full. It's a crash. That's what happens every time. Maybe in hookup culture, you really want to hook up with some girl, and you go and do it with the wrong girl. Then what? Then you feel kind of just gross after. So it's the same cycle with anything. Anything that's instantly and immediately pleasurable is going to have delayed guilt or delayed suffering or delayed pain attached to it. Every single thing. And you've got to be aware of this cycle. You've got to think, if this thing is requiring no effort to make me happy, there's going to be a greater downside at the end of it. When you drink, what is it? Well, physically, it's the hangover. But there's also a lot of things that people do when they drink that they actually regret. And so I think it's best to avoid it. And what you find is, the thing about being happy, true happiness, is that it actually comes out of the things that aren't easy right in the moment. You only become happy later, which is paradoxical. And so if you think about yourself when you're in a moment where you're desperate, you want to just feel some relief. That person in that moment does not want to have to put in any effort to gain that happiness. They just want something right now. Just please relieve me of the pain. And so it's so easy to go for lust, drugs, food, etc. What's not easy and what's not intuitive is to go for the thing that's actually a little bit hard now, but it's easy later. That's when you become happy, is later. And so when you think about a workout, bro, no part of me wants to get up every morning and go to the gym. However, I know that once I'm done, I feel phenomenal. And I understand that trade-off. I understand it's hard now and easy later, as opposed to easy now, hard later. You got to just start seeing it. Those are the only two options. There's no other way around it. It's either easy now and hard later, or hard now and easy later. And so start doing the stuff that's hard now and then easy later. And all I've found is that that's where the happiness is. So the third thing is just reframing your brain that happiness is in those tasks, in those endeavors that aren't immediate fun. Going to the gym, not fun immediately. I don't every morning want to crack open a book and read for an hour. A lot of times I don't actually. However, I understand that all of those things always are fruitful later. So whatever it is, stop reaching for the stuff that's just instant. It's never good on the other side. Whatever you want to convince yourself of, you're just coping. So I started this off by saying that you need to understand that happiness is a skill. What do you do after that? Well, then it's always up here because it's not anything external. I said that as well. So that means that you can work on it 24 hours a day. And what I found is that your state of mind actually changes really fast. I did a 7-day no negativity challenge last fall. And what I found was, it was day 4 or 5. I was like, bro, life has transformed without negative thoughts. And it was crazy. Day 1, day 2, even day 3, I would catch myself and I'm like, wait, I'm being negative. I got to just throw that out. That's a part of the challenge. And then I rewired my brain really, really quickly to start sniffing out negativity and avoiding it. I avoid negative people. I avoid negative thoughts. I always erase them. And that's the first step. It's really, really simple. There's so much to this topic that I could talk about for literally fucking hours. And maybe I will. So first, you could do a 7-day no negativity challenge and probably get a lot of happiness gains, because that's kind of what it's like. If you're in the gym, you get gains. But if you're trying to be happy, which I think that's a game I want to play, there's gains in it. You can get happiness gains. And it comes from hard sets, which is your sets in the game of happiness are when you feel your brain go into that negative mode or go into sadness. It's a quick, not to use too much terminology, but it's a quick recenter. You got to recenter yourself, where sometimes for some people, it's taking a deep breath. Literally, this is what recentering yourself could be. Let's say you walk into the store, you see your ex. Now, the next thing is you got to have a toolbox of things to make you present. And so what are activities that make you present or have at least the ability to? And these are things that are not destructive, like drugs or lust. Presence is that moment when you're in the middle of the movie theater, you had just watched a movie, the lights turn back on, and you're like, oh shoot, I had no idea I was even in a movie. You were present. You almost became the movie for that 1 hour or 90 minutes. You need to become the activity the same way you become the movie when you watch it. So that's why people find presence and get addicted to the gym, because they get addicted to that feeling of removing the past and the future. You need to have your own version of that you can use every single day. And I have a multitude of activities that make me present. I've got the gym, I've got reading, I've got walking, I've got guitar, I've got jujitsu, I've got writing, I've got making YouTube videos, just to name a few. And all these things that when I do them, I'm not thinking about the past or the future. I'm just in them completely. You need to become the activity. That's really the goal. And so if you don't have any of those things and you go home and just try to more or less distract yourself with things that are not positive, that's where you start deteriorating your happiness. And then you think, oh shoot, I just need something. Bam, then you go get wasted. So have a toolbox to lean on when, not even lean on, but it's a part of your life. It's you utilize these tools, because you will go mad if you just sit in your room and bask in your sadness. It's not good. You need to have a toolbox of activities that can remove the past and the future and bring you right here. Just forget. I think the gym is the best one. You got to get the gym. If you start every day with the gym, do that for 2 weeks. Tell me how you feel. You're going to feel way better. Hope this was helpful. That's all I got for this one. I love this topic. I could talk about it all the time. I was horrible at being happy, and now I think I'm a very happy and peaceful individual. And I just picked it up like any other skill that I pick up. Hope this helps.